Welcome back to Senior Savvy. I'm Jane Wells, your host for today's show. Senior Savvy, of course, is brought to you by the Oshkosh Senior Center, where it's our mission to enrich the quality of life for adults ages 50 and older. I think summer's finally here. It's coming along. Don't forget your sunscreen. No matter how old you are, whatever your age or whatever you're doing, just put some of that stuff on when we go outside. So, you know, as we age, things happen. Some of them we can control, some of them we can't control. So today, my guest is J.J. Allen, and he is a pharmacist and a doctor of pharmacy, actually. And we're going to talk about osteoporosis because many people face issues with osteoporosis. So first, I'd like to welcome J.J. Hi, J.J.
Thanks. And I want to thank Jane for welcoming me and for the Senior Savvy program. I know it's an excellent resource for all the seniors here in Oshkosh. And yeah.
All right, so I always like to find out a little bit of information about people. So tell me about, where did you grow up?
So I grew up in DeForest, Wisconsin, which is just outside of Madison.
Yep.
And then I went to school at University of Wisconsin-Madison and graduated in 2012, like you said, with my Doctor of Pharmacy, which is really exciting. Then after that, I actually went on to do a residency, so some after-graduate training in a small pharmacy in Two Rivers, Wisconsin, which is a small town. So it was excellent to get to know the people in that town, and an independent pharmacy where I worked with a pharmacist who really showed me the different things that pharmacists can do to help our patients take control of their health. And I've brought those experiences here with me to Oshkosh in the last 2 years.
Right. I'll come back to that.
Okay.
But so at what point did you know that you wanted to be a pharmacist or into pharmacy or pharmaceutical?
That's a good question. So I actually started college as a biomedical engineering student. And after about a year doing that, I volunteered at a nursing home in the pharmacy and playing euchre with some of the residents. And I realized the relationship that the pharmacist had with some of the patients, and I'll still be able to use my math and science skills, but I wouldn't be sitting in an office doing research. That's really what drove me.
And you have been to the center for a number of different opportunities, or to do some presentations, to do some screenings and things like that, and you are fantastic working with people. You definitely belong out working with people versus just sitting in an office, so great choice.
Well, I appreciate that, yeah.
All right, so today we're going to talk about osteoporosis. And, you know, I think I shared with you, as a kid growing up, I can remember my grandmother had a hump. That's what we called it. They called it the dowager's hump. And never did I hear the term osteoporosis, but of course, as an adult, I'm going, pretty sure that's what that was. So we're going to talk about that. And, you know, first of all, I guess maybe we need to start out about what is it?
Good. Yeah.
What is the dowager's hump? What does that mean?
Yeah, so what osteoporosis is first is it's basically a decrease in bone density as we age. And no matter who the person is as we age, each person's bone density starts to decrease around the age of 40. And what the dowager's hump is that you talk about is when our bone density decreases at a certain point, there's small fractures in the spine. And that's what creates that hump, and it can really affect the quality of life. So that's why I focus on my patients, what we can do to maintain that bone density.
Okay. So you said starting at age 40, the process begins.
Yes, so it's kind of, each person's a little bit different. So most people reach their what's called peak bone density by age 30. So it's a whole life process. So the thing, if you have grandchildren or things like that, the kids who get out and exercise the most and drink milk and really have a good diet get a larger peak bone mass, so they're much less likely to get osteoporosis. But as we age, we want to keep doing the same things, because by age 30, our bone stops becoming more dense and it starts to become less dense, but there's things we can do to prevent the progression.
And we're going to talk a little bit more about that in just a little bit. So you said, you know, you get tiny fractures in the bones. Do you feel that? How do you know that that's happening? Or is there a test to find out about what your bone density is?
That's a really good question. So osteoporosis is what I like to refer to as a silent disease. So similar to hypertension or blood pressure, I can't feel that my blood pressure is high, but when I take my blood pressure, and my blood pressure is a little high, genetically disposed to that, I see my numbers are a bit high. And what we need to do is to do the screenings first for blood pressure, and that's why we do it for osteoporosis, to prevent the progression. For blood pressure, it's cardiovascular disease and stroke, and for osteoporosis, what we're trying to prevent is the fractures.
Okay, so first of all, what is the test?
Okay.
Do they go in and draw bone sample, marrow sample or something like that, or how does it work?
Yeah, that's a good question. So the nice thing about the test is it's not invasive at all. At the doctor's office, what they'll do is called a DEXA scan, and this they'll actually send radiation through the hip or the spine, and then based on how much radiation gets through, they can do a calculation to see how dense the bone is.
And I guess the less dense, the more radiation goes through?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
Less dense, more goes through.
But you aren't doing that to people who come in and want to know what their bone density is.
No, yeah. So unfortunately, we don't have enough space in the pharmacy to have that DEXA scan machine. So what we do, there's another machine that uses ultrasound waves, and we use a different site, which is the heel.
Okay.
So it's non-invasive, so all that happens is patient takes off their shoe, puts their foot in the DEXA scan, and then it sends. So it's a similar concept, sends ultrasound waves through, and then the amount that gets through correlates with what their bone density will be.
Okay. So do you recommend people have a baseline done at a certain age, or?
Yeah, and that's, each organization has a little bit different recommendations.
Okay.
What we usually look at is what the National Osteoporosis Foundation recommends, the NOF, there's lots of acronyms.
Sure, yes.
So what they recommend is women at 65,
Okay.
they recommend to have a DEXA scan, and then men at 70
Okay.
to have it. Women are a little bit more predisposed to osteoporosis, so that's why they recommend at 65. And there are other caveats to it. Women, postmenopausal women are also recommended, no matter the age, to have their first bone density scan as well.
I'm guessing most of those women are postmenopausal before 65, did you say?
Yes, so yeah, that's something within the recommendations they say, then they have that caveat. So it's really usually women around 50 will do the first screening.
Okay, so obviously for me, it's in the gene pool. So at age 50-something, what would I do? I did have the screening done with you last year, and everything was great. So do I just now, I don't need to worry about this for the rest of my life, or where does it go from here?
So that's a good question, and each primary care doctor has a little bit different approach. So the first step I would say for all patients and yourself is just to ask your doctor, let them know that at the health fair, at the pharmacy, you had a bone density scan and it was on the heel and everything was good. And with your age and with everything with you, would they recommend you have one? And each physician is going to be a little bit different. For you, I would say, since yours was good, just focusing on the lifestyle things that we'll talk about will be adequate for you, because the main reason we do the tests to find out is if you have osteoporosis and we have to start a medication. But for you, we weren't at that level. If we're at a level where I'd want to start a medication, then I'd have you go to the doctor's office to get the more specific test.
Okay, so me being at my level, is there anything I can be doing then to stop it from getting to that next level, or at least postpone it if, I don't know, genetically, can you avoid it, or who knows?
That's a good question. So like lots of diseases and conditions like hypertension, there's a genetic factor and a lifestyle factor. So for osteoporosis, it's actually interesting. There's a large genetic factor. If your mother had osteoporosis, you're 2 times as likely to have a hip fracture as someone with the equal traits as you. So unfortunately, genetics is something we can't change yet.
Nope.
Maybe at some point. But what we can do, there's really 3 main things I focus on is diet and nutrition, which we can talk about a little bit more. And then exercise, specifically weight-bearing exercise.
Funny how that just keeps coming around all the time, doesn't it?
Yes, exercise.
It really does, yep.
For everything. And then the other things that come around all the time is smoking and alcohol use. They also have an effect on bone density.
So maybe not do the smoking and alcohol use.
Correct. Yes. Exactly right.
Just kidding. Okay, so let's just say somebody comes in and they already know that that they're in the product, whatever. They've been to their doctor, they know where they're at. What can you offer them at the pharmacy?
Yeah, so the first thing I'll do with all of my patients who've either been diagnosed with osteopenia, which is just pre-osteoporosis, saying that there's a little bit less bone density that we like, but it's not at the point of what we consider osteoporosis.
Sorry, how long does it take to go from osteopenia to osteoporosis?
So that's all determined on what we do. So that's where we talk about the lifestyle things.
Okay.
And the first thing, to get back to your question, that I do with all my patients is a calcium intake screening, and actually brought some of my sheets with me today.
All right.
If we could do just a sample one on yourself, if that's okay.
That's just fine. Okay, so remember I told you when I had tips from Tony and he did the posture assessment, it was the shoulders that failed. So let's see how we do now on the calcium screening.
Good. I think I might fail the posture assessment. So he's going. So the first thing we look at when estimating our calcium, there's been lots of studies coming out showing we want to hit kind of a middle level. Too much calcium has actually been shown to be harmful cardiovascularly in the kidneys, and then too little calcium, we're going to get osteoporosis. So that's why I always do this first. Okay. So the first question is, how many servings of milk would you get in an average week? And a serving is an 8-ounce cup. Oh. So count cereal, count all those things.
Okay, so let's see. I'd say.
Or you could do it daily.
32 ounces maybe in a week.
32 ounces?
Right.
Okay. So that's okay. Yeah. So that's about 4 cups.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Maybe 5.
Okay. So that's almost little under a cup a day.
Yep.
Okay.
Probably.
So we'll round down for that, and I'll say a half a cup a day.
Okay.
Or 4 ounces a day. And then for yogurt, the yogurt serving size is 6 ounces. Okay. How many of those would you say you eat in a week?
Oh gosh, probably closer to 30 ounces of yogurt.
Okay. Sounds good. So that's about one. We'll do about 1 serving a day. Sure. And then cheese, and when we look at a cheese, it's a cubic inch or a slice of cheese. No cheese. Good. That's better than most people from Wisconsin. Whenever we're looking at these things, I don't want people to get the impression that we need to load up on these foods, because although these have calcium, they also aren't very good for us in our mouths. So that's good. Okay. And then another, I'll usually, when patients are in the office, but I won't do this today, we'll look at fortified foods and juices, and these can have a wide range of things, but just for... I
think I do like coconut milk. I don't know if that has calcium or not.
Yeah, and that does. And depending on the brand, we'd have to look at. But just for a fudge factor, and sake of time, I'm just going to put 400 there.
Okay, perfect.
And then everyone else I know you eat broccoli and all those good things.
Yes, actually I do.
All right, so the average is about 250. So for you, when I look at your calcium intake, see how quick my math is. So let's say 700 plus 150, 850 plus 250, 900. So from your diet, and this is an estimation again, you get about 1,100 milligrams of calcium. So
per week?
That's per day.
Oh, per day.
Yeah, this is per day. Okay. So, and what the National Osteoporosis Foundation recommends, depending on your age, anywhere between 1,000 and 1,200 milligrams. So you're getting 1,100. So you're right there. So you're someone who I would say a calcium supplement isn't necessary to take. So then, for you, if we had a calcium supplement, we'd probably get a little more than we'd like. So it'd be something for you. If you were on a calcium supplement, I'd have you go to your doctor and discuss and see if maybe it's a best option not to
Okay, so let's talk a little bit. So pretend I'm really calcium deficient, because we have about 5 minutes left.
Okay.
So what are you going to do for me?
So the first thing I do, if you're calcium deficient, so say if your daily intake was only 500 milligrams, I'd want to get 700 milligrams extra a day. So the first 2 decision points is calcium carbonate or calcium citrate. And these are things that people can come into the pharmacy and talk to me about.
You know what? Tell me what I need to do.
So what you need, so then...
That would be me.
Yeah. So for you, what I would recommend is 250 for that person, 250 milligrams of calcium once in the morning and once in the evening. And calcium carbonate is one we need to take with food, so it gets absorbed better. So each person, that's why getting to know my patients is really important to me, because it's not a standard. Everyone needs this much calcium. It's let's take a look, see what you're getting from your diet. Sure. And then we'll go from there.
Sure. And so so you would decide which they need or how much of each they need, right?
Exactly.
And these are pills.
Yes.
I mean, versus...
They're pills, or some people Tums is one that a lot of people like.
Oh, sure.
It has calcium carbonate, extra
Yep.
strength, has 500 milligrams. So some people just say, just chew one Tums every morning.
Right.
Then you'll get to 500 milligrams. That's another easy way
Okay.
to get it.
So I'm just sorry. So a person comes in, you kind of do the calcium assessment.
Yep.
You might do the scan. What's that machine or thing called?
So the one we use is an ultrasound machine. And
Ultrasound. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay. And then from there, you'd make your recommendations in terms of what they can do to supplement their diet.
Exactly.
To help their bones stay healthy. Because, so once the breakdown is starting, starting to do some of these things, does that help to slow
it does.
breakdown of the bone?
Yeah, so we're never going to get more bone, but we can slow the progression. So the earlier we can start these things, the better. And being a silent disease, someone in their 40s or 50s, it's good to get this done early so we can prevent the progression. But there's never too late to start.
Right. So even if I'm 70, I
yeah.
should come in and have this,
Exactly.
And it's, what's the cost to do this?
So, so for this, I do a lot of health fairs, like the senior health fair and other health fairs. And at those health fairs, we do it for free just to get the conversation started. And in the pharmacy, a full assessment, which takes about 30 minutes, is $60, and that's something someone can call and set up an appointment. And that includes the actual T-score, the bone density ultrasound. But all of these other things I do with my patients or anyone who wants to come in at no charge, just if they want to add the bone density T-score to it.
And where is come in? Come into where?
So that is a good place. So again, where I'm at is Sawyer Street Hometown Pharmacy.
Okay.
We're located right next to the Family Dollar on Sawyer Street.
Yep. Very cute.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Cute probably isn't what you want to hear, but you have very cool things in there for sale, as well as what you do.
Right. So that's the nice thing. I have a lot of great staff that help me out with the front end because those gift items and those very cool things we have on the front end definitely aren't my expertise. But what I can do for people is to become their partner and help them to make sure they have
that better lifestyle.
Exactly.
And like you said, the weight bearing exercise. And what exactly does that mean, real quick?
Yes. So weight bearing exercise is anything that is going to put stress on the muscles. So just standing and walking is weight bearing exercise, or any of the things that you guys do at the senior center. You guys have great programs there with yoga and Tai Chi. So anything working against resistance bands. Anything like that can help to strengthen the muscles. So basically, the main thing I want to say when we say this is we don't want to be sitting or laying down all day because then your body's not working against gravity.
Exactly. All right, real quick, you want to give us your phone number in case somebody would like to call you and just chat with you about this, or set up that appointment. So what is Hometown Pharmacy's phone number?
So our phone number is 920-426-0763. And the nice thing, the phones ring right back to the pharmacy, so they can just ask for myself, JJ, or my partner pharmacist, Kristen Chartier, and would be happy to have a discussion with them about bone health and making sure they're getting in the right direction.
And of course, you would go over medications with them and making sure nothing interacts with anything, which is the beauty of having a personal pharmacist, to answer all the questions.
Right, and that's another major thing we do is, like Tony talked before, fall risk is a big thing. What we want to do is prevent fractures. So we look through the medications. If there's anything that can increase fall risk, we'll work with the patient and the doctor to change the medication around.
Sure. Exactly. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming in. Your passion of caring for seniors really shows when you're at the senior center. They love you.
I love them too. It's
a mutual thing.
Yeah, getting a new group of friends for sure. I love it. I never go to work any day. So
all right. Well, thank you for coming on and sharing about the topic.
I appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you very much.
And coming up next, Tony, of course, has moved on, but we still have Tony doing some tips for Tony. And Tony is talking this month about falls prevention, which kind of goes along with your osteoporosis, because when people have osteoporosis fall, sometimes bad things happen. So here are tips from Tony.
Hello, and welcome to another segment of Tips from Tony. Today we'll be talking about falls prevention. This is a pretty serious topic for older adults, and I feel that it is necessary to speak about it. Let's get right into the details. So according to the CDC, 1 of every 3 people ages 65 and older will experience a fall. Of that third, less than typically half of those people that experience that fall will actually discuss it with their doctor or care provider. That's a startling statistic because with the older adult population, those falls can lead to fatal injuries and pretty serious non-fatal injuries. So it's important to talk to your medical provider. According to the CDC, 20 to 30% of people who fall suffer moderate to severe injuries that include lacerations, hip fractures, and different types of head traumas like concussions, similar to the NFL thing going on right now. These types of injuries can make it hard to get around and maintain an independent lifestyle. So it's important to be aware that falls can happen and how to prevent falls. The two or the most common fractures that I want everyone to be aware of are spine fractures, hip fractures, leg fractures, and pelvis fractures. Those are pretty serious fractures if you experience one, because then if you break a leg, break your hip, to heal, you're going to be bedridden, and you might not get out of that bed if it's a serious enough fracture. But let's get away from the doom and gloom. We can prevent falls, so I want to speak to everyone about that. The first step in falls prevention would be exercising regularly. That way, positive stresses on your body promote strength gains and will improve your balance. Secondly, asking your doctor or pharmacist to review your medications with you. You want to make sure you're avoiding medications that can cause side effects such as drowsiness, dizziness, or things of that nature. You want to avoid those because let's say you all of a sudden fall asleep, bang your head, not a good scenario. Another strong point to preventing falls would be having your eyes checked. Talk to your eye doctor probably once a year, maybe twice a year, depending on how your vision is, and talk to them about getting new glasses, things like that, if you can't see very well. The last step preventing falls would just be making sure that your home is safe. Make sure clutter is out of the way. Add grab bars around your house. That way, if you experience a fall and you're in the hallway, or if you fall off balance, you can grab that bar, catch yourself, preventing a fall right there. You can also improve the lighting in your home. Add maybe a few more lamps, just so it's dark out, you can see a little bit better. I know I mentioned hip fractures earlier. A good way to prevent those, a hip fracture, that can be pretty detrimental to your health in the long run. I just want to mention specific ways to try to prevent that. Getting adequate calcium and vitamin D, in general, that's good for your bones. I would just recommend making sure that you get enough in your diet. Weight-bearing exercise, strengthening your bones, strengthening your muscles. If you do experience a fall, if you are stronger than before, that the muscle mass that you build might prevent a bone from breaking. And getting screened and treated for osteoporosis. Talk with your doctor the next time you're in and just talk about the risk factors of osteoporosis. If you fall and you have osteoporosis, those bones can shatter pretty easily. So it's a good thing to talk to with your doctor. That is it with falls prevention. I just want to thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.
Welcome back, and thanks, Tony, for tips from Tony. A lot of what he said was really great information. All right, so we have a bunch of things coming up at the Oshkosh Senior Center, and get out your calendars. Get ready to come and join us. All right, so one of those weight-bearing exercises, learn to play pickleball. Pickleball is very popular amongst seniors, and we have a Learn to Play Pickleball Monday, June 8th, 9:30 a.m., and Wednesday, June 10th, 9:30 a.m. at Rainbow Park. Please register by the end of this week.
Another event we have coming up is the Food for Thought, Meeting Your Long-Term Financial Goals. This will take place Wednesday, June 10th at 12 p.m. Registration by June 3rd to reserve a spot. The cost is free, and there'll be a light lunch, and also it's sponsored by the North Point Medical and Rehabilitation Center.
And after you find out about your finances, come find out about your health with Ask the NP and RN. Health-related question and answer session Wednesday, June 10th at 1 p.m. So it is right following that other financial program, and it is free. We just ask that you register by Friday, June 5th.
And on June 14th at 2 p.m., come in to enjoy some live music from the Golden Tones concert, and that's again Sunday, June 14th at 2 p.m.
And that would be in the North Building at the Oshkosh Senior Center. All right, something smells fishy, and I'm not talking like ones you catch in the lake. Join us for Officer Joe Nichols on Friday, June 19th at 10 o'clock a.m., presented by the Oshkosh Police Department. This is free, and this is all about different scams and things that are going on in the area and things that you need to be aware of. Please register by Wednesday, June 17th. And this is sponsored by Valley VNA and Lutheran Homes of Oshkosh.
And on Wednesday, June 17th and 24th from 12 to 1 p.m., there's another music event. It's the Enjoy the Art of Music Live at Lunch. And Advocap will providing transportation for all those who have registered.
Excellent. So we are supplying a van downtown, so you don't have to park your car. But you do need to call the center and register for the Live at Lunch. June 18th, the big night on the river. Come on down and join us for great fun outside. We have a band coming out with the jammers. We'll have the s'mores. We have free pontoon boat rides. It's a great night. 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. at the South Building, actually outside the South Building, taking advantage of our beautiful river location. Night on the River, June 18th, 5:30 to 8:30.
Another excellent opportunity to enjoy the bike path as well as the river is on all Thursdays in June at 9:30 a.m. is the Senior Summer Bike Rides. There'll be 15 plus mile rides through scenic Wisconsin, and we need to register by Tuesday for the Thursday ride each week.
Oshkosh Senior Games, Summer Games are coming up June 23rd, 24th, and 25th. There's a picnic, there's ladder golf, horseshoes, golf putting, croquet, and more. Please register by Tuesday, June 16th.
And with the nice weather in June we're having, we have a grill out coming up. It's on Thursday, June 25th at 11:30 a.m. Come to the Senior Center for a grill out called Grillin' Out.
That's right. We also have several volunteer opportunities. Nail care assistants, bingo, calling bingo, lead cooks, front desk, woodshop supervisor. Please call Jody at 232-5306. And lastly, we have Beginner Bird Carving Thursday, July 23rd. This is kind of upcoming through August 20th. Please register by July 12th. It's $15 for a resident, $17 for a non-resident. It's amazing what they do with a block of wood. All right. Well, welcome back, and thank you for watching Senior Savvy, and we'll see you all next time. Have a great summer. Don't forget the sunscreen. You'll soak up vitamin D, which helps with osteoporosis. Thanks.